See what I forgot today.
Never a dull moment. Where's Discord? Ah! Ah! Now I'm doxing my own Discord usage. I don't know what I have to hide exactly, but I don't know. Feels wrong. Okay, now. Okay, boom. And today I did not forget to put my microphone actually in front of my face. You see? You see? We are professionals. Professional. Okay, so you know what I did? What do you mean no again? Yes again. I'm doing pretty well actually. I've been having a very relaxing weekend. And, you know, it was Freedom Day 2 days ago, so that was chill. And, you know, just living. Got a chest turn upcoming, but I have some time before that, so I'm just enjoying the off time and the relaxation. Why do you dread your birthday, if you don't mind me asking? I feel like there's some tea here. Did he miss that I'm threatening to capture, or... First of all, I'm turning 21, which is scary. Ah, fair enough. Okay, yeah, it looks like he just missed it. Which, I mean, based, I suppose. Just say I'm trying to check something on an alternate browser. Oh, I reviewed a bunch of music. I reviewed, I guess I've reviewed like 4 albums since the last time I streamed. Taking all means conversations with people that I'd not necessarily wish to talk to. Ah, okay, it's one of those. Yeah, 4. Given one of them is an EP, and the other one's a really short album, but still 4. I really need to get on that. There's so many albums I need to listen to. Speaking of which, I can multitask because, yes. And so, I'm going to listen to an album right now which I want to review at some point. What album should I listen to currently? Do I re-listen to so much stuff? I'm in the same boat, man. I also changed the rating of a few of the things I reviewed. What album? Low key, I kind of want to do a Hozier album. Hozier? I think it's Hozier, right? Because it's not a genre that I normally listen to. Which means it's something that I would easily miss, if that makes sense. And plus, I just did a Noah Khan, so I think it's like thematically appropriate. You know, I feel like I might as well. If I'm hitting one, then I might as well hit both. Since evidently they're both like the same genre. Started listening to Men I Trust. Okay, stupid question. What is that? I'll Google it. Oh, it's a band. Never mind. Never mind. You stay over here. Also have dislike for Noah Khan. Man I Trust is a dream pop indie rock band. Okay, gotcha. Also, why do you have a dislike for Noah Khan? Now I'm interested. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. He's not the best artist of all time, I think, but... I think his music is just bleh in general. I could see it. All I've listened to is I listened through the entirety of Stick Season. And I'm not going to lie to you, I enjoyed it. And by enjoyed it, I mean, I think I gave it like a 76. Yeah, I gave it a 76. So I hardly think it's the greatest thing mankind has ever produced, but like, I'd listen to it again. Well, I don't know what discussion there is behind him. I only know he exists because my sister sometimes listens to some of his music. She's not like a Giga fan, but we saw the CD in the store when I was getting CDs a few weeks back, and she saw it and she's like, oh, that's his best album. I'm like, whose best album? She was like, Noah Khan. I'm like, who's Noah Khan? She's like, it's a guy who's popular with on my side of the internet. I was like, oh. Because he has some music where he is the bad guy. He is so different and better. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what that sentence means. Oh, bouncing across. On TikTok, he is this amazing guy that just writes best country music. Okay, so I'm not gonna say he's an influencer turned musician, but like he is really clever in the way he uses social media to help further his career, I suppose. How are you doing bouncing across? We're discussing Noah Khan, in case you aren't aware. Which I don't know much about Khan, but you know what I'm saying. So must his country music, the women are the antagonists in man's songs? Kind of does the reverse in some songs. Okay. It's a stupid question, but what's problematic about that? Oh, okay. So you're saying it kind of feels fake since this whole thing is, ooh, and I'm doing the reversal. And also, I listened to it and it's not really, I'm not sure I feel like it's really country. It felt much more related to like, folk. Gained a lot of popularity based on that. Yeah, I wouldn't call it country. Again, I know nothing about any narratives or any greater thing going on with him or his TikTok presence. I don't have TikTok. I've never installed TikTok. I don't know nothing about nothing. I just listen to an album because people I know sometimes listen to his music. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Okay, so it's one of those things where you're mad not because he's necessarily terrible, but because he's overrated. You know what? Fair. I can respect that. Again, I gave him a 76 on Stick Season, which, according to my sources, is his best album. So. He's overrated, and I personally find his music mid. That's fair. Nah, I get that. It's almost worse to be overrated than it is to be bad. At least it feels worse. I like how mid became an insult. Yeah, because mid doesn't necessarily mean average. It has a different sort of vibe going than that. Gave it a 76 because a lot of the songs I just enjoyed listening to, but there were a few songs where I have no clue what Mans was cooking. Like, wow. Which one was it? It was like Still or something? I have no clue what he was doing in that one. So I'm going to time you out, my good sir. Whisper to me why I should untime you out, because if you're not a bot, then I'll untime you out, but that looks like a bot. Posting an arena link randomly as your first message in chat. Again, just whisper to me if you're not a bot. But I don't know, I've seen people who I was sure were bots, and then they turn out to be just someone who's... Hello, Nolan. Sounds like you really enjoy when music makes you sad, which I can relate. I'm not gonna... I'm not about to talk about how, oh no, I'm not the same at all. Also, wait, did I just blunder my queen? Man. This is why I can't talk about music while playing chess. I get distracted. I'm gonna keep doing it because I like it. Stop it. Ah, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. You gotta save the emotions for the music, because otherwise you might, like, feel your feelings or something cringe like that. Can you imagine the embarrassment? Men don't have feelings? Oh yeah, no, I forgot. It's easy to forget that sort of thing, you know? I always feel like I have feelings, but then, you know, I remember we don't. So yeah, Season of Sticks, or Stick Season. It's not Season of Sticks. To me, it sounds like House of Leaves, which is a book that I read that I thought was kind of mid. And so when I hear Stick Season, I think Season of Sticks, because I think House of Leaves. You an anime fan at all? Nope. I expressly avoid anime. I don't know. I just feel like the longer I avoid it, and the more I see people who don't, and the more... it's not necessarily that part. It's just, I don't know. It's always felt a little bit weird to me. I don't know. Men are just blobfish floating 3,000 meters under the sea, only to get out of the world and decompress into a dad bod. Yes, exactly. That was my name the whole time. It was actually a deep metaphor about men's relation to their physicality throughout their life. I'm glad someone finally understood it, you know? That's a shame. Anime has some best storylines and characters in all fiction. I could see that. I've heard some good things about a lot of different anime. There's a short list of like a few that are recommended like every time. It's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Cowboy Bebop, and Death Note are the three I always get. Guys, what should I learn to cook? Just finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It was awesome. Yeah, like I said, I've heard really good things. Why do you have a chess.com logo on the top of your head? Because I forgot where I used to put it to make it look better, and having a chess.com logo on my stream is part of my contract. So, and I forgot. I used to have a less intrusive spot, but I think the less intrusive spot is now taken up by my captions, and so I've kind of painted myself into a corner. Because that would be smart bouncing, and I'm allergic to doing smart things. And so what do you mean? White panel. Now, oh, I can make it look like it's on the whiteboard. Just a second. Where's the transform? Filters. Oh, is transform an extension thing? I always forget. I think transform was whatever that extension is called that I used to have but don't anymore because I forgot to put it and I never used it for anything. I also need to just convert another logo version I have to a PNG and use that. Or K-Man, no, you actually put the chess.com logo on the whiteboard? Does that... I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember the wording of the contract. Give me a second. Does that work? I mean, it should. I'm doing pretty darn well, Norwegian. How about yourself? Well, there you go, Jim bro. I was waiting for him to do something because I feel like this b5 move kind of plays itself to a point. I like this. Not enough to play it though. I am conflicted. Real OG viewers know that I'm always conflicted. So me saying I'm conflicted is almost a non-statement in how little it really changes the picture, how little it really says about my state of being. What time are you playing? Time control? Well, currently I was just playing 3-0, not for any specific reason, just because it's what I started playing. Is this genius or stupid? I mean, I'm going to run out of time, so I suppose it doesn't really matter, but time is being down a minute constantly. True. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, I was winning. Okay. I need to play faster. I just read chat too much because I don't want to miss a message. I miss too many messages. The whiteboard just is the output of my... This is just regular chess, but with a goofy rook. What? What? Are we playing randos? Yeah, because no one's joined the queue yet. Unless I'm not done. Unless I'm dumb and I missed that someone actually did. Hey, this guy's Greek. He's my neighbor. I'm not sure I care for the way he's played this. Given this knight's terrible and really hard to develop, so I'm going to... I love Fisher Random. Fisher Random the best. Greeks, yikes. Oh, come on. Come on. I can't win with you people. Oh. Wait, why is everyone here insulting the Greeks? I mean, like, as a Macedonian, I feel like I have a contractual obligation to not like the Greeks, but, like, Y'all shouldn't be encouraging me in that. Ah, so we're just anti-Balkan. We're not anti-Greek. I don't know. Is that better or worse? I don't actually know. I didn't say I was winning in the sense that my opponent didn't deserve to win. I said I was winning in the sense of, aw, I'm so frustrated because I could have won that. Like, I played good enough chess to have won that theoretically. Yeah, he flagged. That's a skill issue on my part. At least Greeks in the EU. Isn't that worse? I'm not sure that's an upgrade. Don't mean you, that's a me thought. Ah, fair enough. You see? But you have to remember something. I, as the streamer here, will obviously interpret every message as being about me because everything's about me. Because all streamers are narcissists. Right? Donut economics. I don't know what that is. I'll have to Google it. I will Google it. Don't test me, but... Oh, it's a book. Yeah, I haven't read it. Yeah, when I stream, the world revolves around me. It's all true. That's what I'm saying, man. Greece, Hungary, Poland should be Tirana, Ukraine, Armenia, Georgia, Norway. Wait, what? What does this take, Norwegian? Where did this come from? Hello, Khalid. Oh, I think I pronounced that wrong. At one point, someone taught me how to pronounce that. Ah, yeah, Scandinavians appropriating Slav culture. Mm-hmm. So. Okay. Okay. Huh. So I'm reading the Wikipedia article on donut economics because that's clearly the most reliable source of information. I'm doing very advanced research. Unironic, good research? No, it's not. What's your rank? In what, chess? Of course it's chess. Why did that was a stupid question. I'm currently like 2060 or something. I've hit 2200, but I'm washed, so I've lost all of it. They already have a mid chess opening? I know, right? You should be thankful. I play way too slow. Why am I playing 3-0? I hate Blitz. Why am I playing a time control I hate? Why do I do this to myself? I could be playing an actually fun time control. Like 10-0. Okay, give me a second. Queen 3 is a funny trick. Yeah, he also had rookie 1 check at some point, but I'm glad he missed it. Okay, give me a second. Why on earth am I playing 3-0? Give me 10-0. Oil backed? What happened to the oil isn't an important part of the economy, Norwegian? Evals in general should be taken with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's not. So then why are you talking about oil backed? Yeah, no, I'm a certified computer hater. I am a vibes guy. Okay, give me a second. Let me actually read this donut. Uh-huh. Hmm. Okay, so skimming. Uh-huh. Okay, so I see the idea. W music, thank you. You know what makes it even more W? The fact that like I'm actually allowed to use it because I stick a DM'd all the artists on Twitter before I deleted my Twitter account. I was like, hey, would you mind if I use my music? Use your music? And honestly, independent artists, really cool people. 17, open the eval right after the game. It's better to think about the game on your own first. I'm not sure. I mean, it depends. It's difficult on your own because oftentimes it's really hard to notice what you've done wrong with your own playing strength. Though what's helpful is having someone stronger helping you analyze, but that's not always accessible. So in that situation, I understand why bringing out the computer first is the thing you try to do. Also, I think I recognize your profile picture. Anyway, not yours. I obviously recognize yours. It's Shrek, but I was talking about AirTive. AR retweet I've. Boom. I've cracked the code. Yeah. Okay, Rexport. Where's the Rexport? Where's the bait emoji? Where's the cheese emoji? Oh yeah, no. There is definitely a right and a wrong way of using computer analysis. Absolutely. And I would also agree that what you've described is pretty convincingly the wrong way. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah. No, but I would argue that people who do that aren't looking for constructive feedback. And they're not looking to learn, they're looking to see if they did well or not, which is different. Those are two different things. The glorious Slovenia, okay. I personally think the chess.com brilliant move with the modern tech could be more sophisticated than what it is. I mean, yes, but I agree, but I don't think that would necessarily make much of a difference. Since I don't think that's its objective, is being a sophisticated evaluation of how good the move was. Because, again, I see this happen a lot, where people judge something by a metric it's not trying to hit, and then call it a failure when it fails to hit that metric. The brilliant tab on chess.com is not meant for grandmasters. It's meant for 800s. That's true. Kebab per capita. I like that. That should be my economic measure. Forget the donut economics. We're talking kebab economics here. Kebabonomics. Well, clearly Brilliant Move has just been an outstanding success for chess.com. I've heard so many people say that they have premium membership just to run analysis and see the brilliance. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's not designed for the people looking to do a sophisticated analysis. It's not designed for sophistication. And so measuring its success by how sophisticated it is I'm not going to say silly. It's just kind of missing the point. Now, in that case, it means that there's a hole in the market for a more sophisticated brilliant analysis tool. But is there really? Because like we've been saying, you really don't want to be using the computer for the majority of your analysis. That's not what he said, Norwegian. He said he can walk into any random village and get a kebab at any hour. He didn't say he has to walk to a specific random village. I think the higher rated players just in general don't care about those fancy analysis tools too much. I've never seen a title player use anything but simple analysis, sometimes ChessDB or chess-based, but nothing ultra fancy or AI based. Yeah, but here's the thing. And here's the thing. It exists in the middle ground, right? Because strong players use engines, but strong players use strong engines, which are always going to be run locally. Running an engine in your browser immediately kneecaps its strength. Just from a computer perspective of you're running it in a sandbox. You are losing performance because you're running it in a browser. Just the way computers work. And so when I do an analysis of my games, or looking to do a deep analysis and try to thoroughly look at stuff, I don't use chess.com's engine. I use a local engine on my computer, because that way you can get the most performance out and the most performance for what computer I have. It's a very controversial question, Gong. And I'm a second-year economics student, so while I have a lot of opinions on things, I wouldn't say that my takes are very reliable sources of information quite yet. They will be, but they're not yet. Yeah, when I analyze openings, I actually rarely run my own engine at all and try to look at ChessDB first to see if it exists there. Oh yeah, well that's true. But I'm not talking, for openings you go to a database. So you can use chess.com's database, right? Their master's game library, but you're not going to use a computer for that, an engine for that. And then if it's anything else other than that, you use a strong local engine. How long it takes? Well, I mean, so first of all, I'm going to clarify something. I'm learning my economics, especially my higher level economics, in Macedonian. So a lot of specific words and terms I'm not super comfortable with as much as I should be, or what you would expect me to be. But that being said, I'm assuming we're talking about austerity as in like tough conditions brought about in order to sort of rebalance and deflate things, right? In which case, I mean, the more I learn about economics and the more I learn about, even more so, politics, the more so I am in favor of, I'm going to say smaller governments, just because a Linux user, I'm paranoid. And so with that in mind, I think, you know, when you keep inflating, keep pumping money into the economy, it's never going to make anything better. But here's the issue. The issue is not that the concept of austerity. The issue is that in practice, it ends up being the only people who actually pay for stuff, in the sense of feel the pain, are the low to middle class, because of the way the system is set up. So it's really hard, because even if you need to have austerity to some degree, the way it sets up, the way it's done is never fair. That is the most out-of-pocket thing I've ever seen, Norwegian. A chess 960 raids really flat on chess.com. These players seem fairly astute for the elo range. Well, I would just say it's not that popular of a what's the word I'm looking for? Variant yet, so you don't have any games, so people don't get to their correct elo. But also, yes. You should probably clarify if you're joking at some point, Norwegian. Just for the uninitiated. I think, okay, so I think 960 will be the future of chess once somebody actually does something that's not FIDE, because FIDE clearly has no interest. Because here's the thing. Why don't we change to 960? I haven't seen a compelling reason why we should stick to normal chess. Why? Why are we still playing regular chess instead of chess 960? What's the benefit? But no, they haven't done any investment in it. They've done like 2 tournaments ever, and no tournaments that aren't all grandmasters. FIDE never even did a classical chess 960 tournament that I know of. I think Carlsen was the first one to do that, right? Wasn't he? Well, I think that it's pretty clear and pretty non-controversial that engine opening prep has made the game significantly less enjoyable, especially at the higher levels for a lot of people. Well, that's why I said somebody does it. I wasn't saying that FIDE has to, but historically FIDE is the one doing things. So my point was only that FIDE hasn't done anything, and so if we want something to happen, then somebody needs to do something. I wasn't saying FIDE because I want FIDE to do it, but it's just because somebody has to do it. And FIDE has a lot of sway because they're the incumbent. You know, they're the 900-pound gorilla. Hello, secret person. Did you change your Twitch name? Because I don't remember anyone called secret person, and the fact they have 2024 in it also makes me think you did change your name. Well, see, I'm not sure what your elo is. However, my point is that as I've gotten better at chess, as I've gotten better, like linearly, I've hated opening theory more. At the start, I actually quite liked it, but... The Albanian too? I think I remember an Albanian person. I actually remembered like 2, but there was only one who I played with. Also, I removed the flag that everyone thinks is the Albanian flag and replaced it with a much worse one. What's the best flag? Man, I don't want to get burned at the stake, you know. I need to explain to you the tense relations. What flag even is that? You want to see the flag, guys? I don't think you want to. I think you'll hate me for it. Nothing else. Wait, if nothing is worse than Albania, that means everything is better than Albania, which would make Albania the worst. So you kind of accidentally reversed that. You got it a little backwards. It will be everything, not nothing, right? Oh, I forgot I made myself tea. This is ADHD right here. I've been streaming for almost an hour, and I forgot that before I started streaming, I made myself tea. It is hard to imagine that, but I just can't think of a reason not to replace regular chess. That's my point. That's kind of where I'm at. I can't come up with a reason why I wouldn't want it to. I can't think of a reason not to replace chess with chess 960. It just seems better in every way. Hey, congrats, Norwegian. Did you make an abomination? No, I didn't make anything. I didn't make anything. Okay, it was a gift. It was a gift. Look. Look. This side's the more colorful. It's duo nationalist. It's not just nationalist. Benefit of being cross-cultural is I get to be double as nationalist as anyone else. I have twice the power of nationalism. If anything, computer prep and chess shows up how many things are playable, even stuff are previously dismissed. But man, it's so much less fun because it's really restrictive because it means I have to worry about my opponent prepping out the wazoo for something. I'm telling you, it's just so much less fun. Nationalism applies less to you. Actually, memes aside, it totally does. And that was especially emphasized since it's a 4th of July weekend. Loki, you're actually absolutely right. Yeah, but it starts interesting, but then it gets boring because of how much prep you have to do. If you only had to study one opening, then I would agree with you. But the counters to counters gets boring because it's all computers. There's no thinking about it. You just have to look and memorize the computer lines. Yeah, we celebrated the 4th of July. Well, we celebrated. I still worked. My little brother still had school. I just made burgers, which, I mean, that's celebrating 4th of July, so yeah. You still prep, you still can, and you still do prep in Chess 960. You just prep ideas. Most American meal, burgers. Well, what you gonna do? It's like everything else in the States, you know, we stole it, but in so doing, we made it so that the people who invented it don't even want it anymore. I've gotten to 2200, but I also play a lot of classical. And in the classical is when I feel it. I don't feel it any in Rapid and Blitz. It doesn't bother me in Rapid and Blitz. In classical is when it's the problem. Hello, Bill. I had to remember what you asked me to call you. You asked me to call you Bill. Kosovo celebrating the 4th of July. Oh God, I don't even want to get into that. I am Bill indeed. That's what you asked me to call you. It doesn't decide the game completely, obviously. I'm not saying it does. I'm saying it makes it less fun. And it makes it exhausting because you have to prep so much. And you have to play so many moves in order to actually start playing chess. There's less chess per chess. And it's one of the things that makes me not want to get better at chess is knowing that I'll have to study so much more opening. Because it's not fun. It's so boring. It used to be interesting, but now that it's gotten so much harder, it's boring. Do you think I could become an Andrew Tate type of influencer, but my bit is calling everything vessel mentality? No, you have a soul. And that kind of prevents you from becoming an Andrew Tate mentality. Yeah, I just think 960 sometimes positions actually become less complex because people don't come into the game with interesting ideas. That's because nobody plays it. The only reason people don't come in with these interesting ideas is because it's such an unpopular format currently that no one studies for it. Trust me, you want to know how I know? I have literally the most complete database of chess 960 opening starting positions in the entire world. Literally, that's not an exaggeration. Spent months compiling it. Yeah, I had a source all along. At least it's the largest database of chess 960 starting positions that I know of. I haven't been able to find anything more complete. Because what I did was, I do like 960. I think that the faults aren't damning to it as a game, but chess is more popular, and I'm not sure if 960 pitching itself as chess replacement is how it'll grow in the future. Well, it obviously doesn't have to start it by pitching itself as a chess replacement. That's not how you introduce things. Like, just from a marketing perspective. But I'm not arguing from a marketing perspective. I'm arguing from a playing the game perspective. The marketing part we can figure out later. I'm just saying, so we could decide what our objective is here. Like, if we're okay with that being an outcome, you know? I am more than okay with chess 960 replacing regular chess. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not. Do I want it to happen? Yes. That's my point. Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. But for 960, the difference is you're just removing opening theory. And not you're removing openings, you're removing opening theory. That's a common misconception. There's still a lot of opening thought and opening exploration to be had in chess 960. It's just not memorization and theory. There's still patterns to look for. There's still things to prepare for, but it's not theory. That's the difference. I don't believe in resigning. Totally planned. I'm still in theory, actually. We're talking about chess 960 theory. I'm still in theory. Never resign, but please resign. Shh. No, you don't get it. You don't understand. You don't understand. Think it might be Jover? Shh. This is true. But it's also cringe. So who really loses? If you resign, you lose twice. No, but I actually do have this giant chess 960 database. That was not cope. It has, what I say was 30 something million games from Lichess. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. No, because it's 20,000 per position and there's about 1,000 positions. So, okay, 20 million. So I have some odd 20 million games of chess of 960, and the win, loss, draw results, and also the most popular moves and their play rate for both colors. And then I have something along the lines of 600,000 engine games played in chess 960 starting positions, and the win, loss, draw, and most popular move from those. And then I have a depth 42 analysis provided by a guy who owns a supercomputer on all the starting positions and their starting evaluation and the starting move. And I compiled it all together into this giant CSV file. Yeah, see, the reason I disagree with that is because I think humans are dumb and bad at chess. And so I think that we very much underestimate how many positions we can hold, and so by just refusing to resign, you will end up holding a great number of positions that you thought impossible. We are really bad at estimating what we can hold. Number one and number two. Nice dubstep. Is that a cap? Is that a cap? No, it's not a cap. Yeah, I know this guy too. I know this girl too. She's great. I've met some really interesting people in the electronic music scene. It's painful. I didn't say it wasn't painful. It's clearly the more painful of the options, but I also think it's the best for your chess. Hello, Lib. Painful was not part of the equation. What do you mean, no? So here's the thing, we cannot change the fact that our younger selves who made our names were terrible at naming. You became a lib. I became the average alcoholic. We can't avoid this. It's too late for us. We must accept our fates. And we get peace with them. course alcoholism isn't cool. I don't drink, but that doesn't change the fact that my name is stupid. E-rated toaster? So like a baby toaster? So like, you know, so like an easy bake oven. Also, I think I forgot to thank you for following. I never pronounced how to figure out your name. AR retweet Ive is what I came to, but that's definitely wrong. Thought you were just called Al. See, that's what I expected. It's actually supposed to be a portmanteau of alchemy and comedy. However, I realized that that's not what it sounds like. I mean, you could change your name to Easy Bake Oven. That's good. Okay, then what if I changed it to just Toaster? I mean, good luck getting that. I feel like that's a in-demand name. I mean, you can try. Toasters find a way. Toast finds a way. I guess my contention is that the best thing for your chess is playing positions that are either equal to or tough to convert. I think it's neither of those. The value of the game goes down significantly. By resigning, you shift more of your playing to those improvement zones. I disagree. I disagree with the first statement. I disagree that the best thing for your chess is playing positions that are either equal or tough to convert. In the same sense that I think it's more beneficial for your chess to play people that are better than you. I think putting yourself in more difficult positions is better training, not only for your chess but also for your mental fortitude, which is a very important part of chess. How old are you? I'm 22. The beard fools people, I know. I got good genes in that regard. Your Batman says you're 20. I probably forgot to update it. I should probably fix that. Where is it? I thought I fixed those things. On my birthday, I try to go and check and fix all of the outdated whatchamacallits, but I always forget something. I always forget one little thing somewhere. Aha! Fixed it. It was never not fixed. Anyone who says it was ever not fixed is lying and delusional. It was always that way. Gaslighting isn't a real thing. It doesn't even sound like a real word. Liars will be kicked off. Exactly. Because I just, if there's one thing that I really can't stand, it's lies and deception. So, in that case, would it be like Sigma Lord Grindset? Instead of... Or would it be Sigma King Grindset? Sigma Lord Grindset, I think, goes hard. Manor Lord Grindset. Okay, fair enough. This was a bad move. That was also a bad move. Right, right. No, this is start making sense. I'm getting where we're going with this. It doesn't seem very secret to me. It seems like pretty common knowledge. Whoa! What, should I even shout out chess.com? Because, I mean, I feel like... I mean, I can. You know what? I think you deserve my viewership. Honestly. Maybe this will help, you know. Follower or two, something along those lines. I try to help the small streamers in my community, right? Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have an excellent rest of your day. We're playing Chess 960, and I'm trying to play this endgame. That is probably bad for me, but I don't care. I'm a firm believer in delusion in chess. You know what? I actually don't really want to trade knight for bishop yet. So I'm just going to poke around and be annoying. Because this rook endgame is miserable. This knight is actually really hard for him to get rid of, and this pawn is impossible to push. So for now, I can actually kind of take things at my own pace. I also have this, I'm also threatening, of course, this check to win the bishop. He shouldn't let me do it, but that means this move effectively comes with tempo. And so infiltrating to his back rank with tempo is something that, honestly, I don't think he should have let me do. And he already got his rook to the back rank, and now I have also full control over the open file. So overall, I think my opponent has been a bit sloppy in their conversion. It is a fish. What's your point? I love you now. Ah, see? It's that easy. Boom. Fish solidarity. Okay. What is our plan? So my plan originally... This allows for a rook trade, but I don't think a rook trade hurts us too bad. I would love to play a6. I think he let me play a6. That's weird, man. I don't like this guy's approach to the endgame. Hello, S_05 and Cosmo09. Cosmo9. Yeah, this guy has not done his endgame studies. Let me just make sure I don't blunder. Because if I take... and he has check, and I go back and he pushes, it's not as simple. So I think I'll push this first, so I can play knight b6 and defend the promotion square first. Absolutely, exclaim join. Is there anyone actually in the queue? I should check the queue. Okay, there's 0 people in line. I thought so. So yeah, exclamation mark, join the queue. I mean, I'll just play you next. There's nobody in the queue. You don't have to worry about the formalities. Here. I'm doing okay in this position. Not fantastic, but okay. Then I go here and I can take the pawn. I can also just sit on the position for a little bit. See, that was bad on his part. Because now I get to do that. Again, he has very clearly not done very much work on his endgames. And so now he's paying for it. Okay, give me a second. If I take and he goes here, what do I have afterwards? What if I go check? He has to move back. Then I take this pawn. Then he pushes. No, but then I can still take. So I'll check here. Or should I play Rapid or Blitz? I prefer Rapid since it gives me more time to read chat. And also, I like slower time controls. Now I have time to take this. You see what I mean in this position, guys? This is why learning your endgames is important, because this position was totally fine for him until we got to the endgame. Then he started having some big problems. Yeah. I mean, at this ending position here, it's completely winning for me. Which is nice, because I came from what is probably a losing position here. Here's the key part, at least in my mind. He let me get rid of his protected passer. This is his greatest asset. If he can hold on to this pawn, then I suffer. So, for example, in this position, I don't agree with this move. I think he should be playing this so that a6 can be met by a4. Because it's chess 960. In normal chess, I'm 2000. And I've reached 2200, but I've lost a bunch of elo because I'm bad. Now, see, this is a lot harder for me because now I have to deal with this pawn long term. And here I think I'm losing. So even earlier, he probably could have gone for that same idea. So like in this position, for example, takes rook, king takes bishop here, and playing a4 next move. It might not be winning, but it looks very close. I'm very uncomfortable in this position. He has all the time in the world to make a pawn over here because he can't afford to do anything. He's stuck. I can move my knight around, which is nice. So I might be drawing by the skin of my teeth, but I'm not convinced. Maybe I can hold on. It is hard for him to do anything. And so I just need to not push my pawns. Probably play this anyway. Maybe he can go king here, here, and play bishop b3. That might be winning for him. It's difficult. It's difficult to find a winning plan here for white. Either way, though, he definitely should not have let me get rid of his protected passer because that was his greatest asset. Now, this does look scary for me, right? It looks like he's queening, but I think b5 here secures it. Because what I was looking at before is if takes, then he has check, and I move the king, and he pushes. And the pawn and bishop actually do a very good job blocking everything off. And I think I'm just losing because he queens next move. In the similar vein, if I try to play this, then I think he plays a7 anyway, and I have a similar problem. Where now he queens no matter what I do, because the pawns guard each other. They protect each other's advance. And so, the two moves I was considering were b5 and like king b8. King b8 might have worked, but then he still might have this move. I don't know, but he might. The idea being if I play something random, then he has check, and then this again, and it's the same tactical sequence. Or even like even if I play something that looks decent like this now, he might just have this. Do you study chess often? No, not as much as I should. Although I'm going to get back into it a bit more now that I don't have school. See, now even taking the bishops is insufficient because he queens. And so I have to play this, at which point he can get my knights. So I think g5 immediately was the only move that holds, or sorry, b5. b5 immediately was the only move that holds on here. because now I was trying to calculate this, but I didn't think it did anything. For the same reason as before. I have this sort of structure that I can set up where my knight and king work together to stop both the pawns. My knight comes to c7. And another thing to point out that I did before I move on to the next game was in this position, the inclusion of the check. I'm pretty sure if I take here, I'm not going to say it's bad for me, but it's very annoying. Because he gets something like this. Or even here. And I don't really have a good move in this position. That's actually one of the weaknesses of the knight against the bishop in the endgame. It's not a very often talked about weakness, but it's a weakness nonetheless, which is the knight is a lot easier to zugzwang than the bishop. The bishop is hard to zugzwang it because it always has two diagonals to move on, and this bishop can always make moves and stay guarding the same square. The knight can't make a move and stay guarding the same square. So it's much easier to zugzwang a knight. And I think this is an example of that. Because now I'm pretty sure I only have bad moves. Any knight move, he takes the pawn, which means I can't move the knight. If I move the pawn, he takes it, and it's just a free pawn. And so I have to move the king, and if I do that, then he gets king b6. And maybe I have knight a8 here? I don't know. I'm still pretty uncomfortable with this. I'm just so passive. Maybe now I can push. Maybe I can get away with this. It's very risky. Ascent challenge. Okay, I'll accept it. So either way, taking with knight, to me at least, was just a very nice, precise way of avoiding all of those tactical complications. And now the knight blockades the pawn, and the knight does a very good job blockading pawns. And so now it's just over. I don't know if there was much he could have done. Because even if he went back here, my plan was check, king moves back, and now I walk in with the king. And I move the knight back to c7, but now I'm making progress. Right? So you play any move, and I go back. And all my important pieces are on dark squares, and I can just slowly push things. I like it when my opponent disconnects during rated games. See, I like it, but then I feel bad for liking it. You know, then I feel guilty afterwards. I'm accepting the challenge. Normally I am trying to do 960 on Saturdays, but I'll make an exception. Let's see what you got. Show me your stuff. Okay. Thank you, Jazzbrain and Cosmo, for the follow. And bouncing across followed as well. I forgot to call him out for following. I'm missing all my follow notifications. I really need to get on that and make it so that they're more noticeable to me. Let's see here. This is a very calm way of playing this position for white. Nice shirt. Well, thank you. I couldn't even remember what shirt I was wearing. The Office is just one of the least controversial things to like. For good reason, I would argue. It's just easy to like. But we'll see. I'm sure there's a counterculture somewhere. Maybe e4, knight c5, and threaten some weird jump in ideas. Oh, wow. He wants my head. Okay. There are controversial jokes, but I can't think of anything too terribly offensive. Hello, Posu. E6 is now possible as well. So, I wasn't expecting him to go for that, just because I felt like it creates too many weaknesses for him. Like, now where do you put your king? Maybe his argument is that he doesn't need to move his king at all. Yeah, I disagree with that. Well, yeah, but most of the race-related jokes were delivered by an intentionally socially inept character. So the joke wasn't the race joke. The joke was this character making a race joke, and that's not okay. So, like, I guess I could see how that would upset some people, but I don't know. I don't know. So I think it's different. Like, again, there, and that, if you're thinking about it that way, then yes, there were a lot of racist jokes. But I can't think of a time where the punchline was anything other than, this is not okay. Look at this guy fumble, pretty much, and say something stupid. Or just be a terrible person, because there are also a few people who are just terrible people that you're there to hate. Well, that's not a similar thing. I would say it's similarly not as problematic as if it were just a straight race joke. Don't know, could be wrong. It's easy for me to talk, right? I need to get my pieces out. I have some serious developmental issues. That came out wrong. Ooh. Well, you know. You talk so much, you eventually want to say something stupid. Okay. This is very bad. I definitely had something at some point. Where'd I mess up? I'll have to look into that afterwards. Because, I mean, this clearly went wrong in a big way. Oh, this move didn't help. Yeah, I messed this up royally. I think it's just mate. I mean, I have to fight. I'm not just going to sit back and die, right? I have to fight. It came out it did not come out. Okay, now you listen here. Now you listen here. Oh yeah, there you go. I completely missed that as a threat. In which case, I had to take the knight. Hello, Chris. Are you more a positional player? I would say so, yeah. The thing is, I also get bored easily, so I don't play stuff like the, It's over? Yes, sir, it is. I, don't like static positional position, so I don't play like the, English, because I get bored. And so, I am positional, but I'm like aggressive positional. That's it. I'm Atlantic. How are you? I'm holding up pretty well. You know, just chilling. Living life. Sure, Cosmo. How you doing? Pretty well. Just kind of relaxing, which feels weird. Since, I've been just so busy with school for such a long time that it feels off to just relax. And it feels like I'm not doing something that I should be doing. It's so bizarre. You know that feeling? Yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'd be lying if I said I weren't having a good time and enjoying my relaxation, but... it also just feels wrong. I just also lead a relatively busy life in general. Haven't spoke for a while? Yeah, has been a hot minute. Well, I've been very busy doing nothing. I'm not sure why he hasn't mated me yet. I mean, I'll keep playing for the draw. I don't care. If he wants to give me another 100 moves, that's 100 more chances for him to blunder, right? Yeah, I don't think he missed it. I think he just decided not to play it. I think it was intentional. Now, beats me as to why, but... I'll play as many moves as he'll give me. Stalemate him? Me to stalemate him? That's a tempting proposition. I'll have to consider it. Aha, he blundered a pawn. You see what I mean, guys? The game's over. I'm clearly winning. Tell me, which one of his pieces can jump over other pieces? That's what I thought. Easily winning. Easily. Just, yeah, here, this. Castles, and obviously I'm winning, right? Takes. Castles. Hikaru level calculation. You guys don't understand my true mastery. My favorite blobfish is the Alchemedium variety. How many Alchemedium blobfish do you know? I feel like I should know something here. I feel like I'm missing out some key information. You're 10 moves ahead? I'm 20 moves ahead. I know a few? Okay. Good to know. As long as it's only a few, that's okay. Watch this, guys, watch. He doesn't think he's Hikaru, he knows he's Hikaru. Okay, there's a difference. I have been pinged. It's just a phone company. Nobody cares. Boom, attacked one of his queens. It's Jover. Wait, how does the dang caption software know the word Jover? Is Jover a different word, but we just appropriate it to mean something stupid in slang English? That's true, /. However, you did pretty strongly imply that he did not. He's thought, but he wasn't. Oh, there you go. See, that version of Joe over Rexport reads like Joe Ever. Watch this. Boom. Fork. What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? I knew. Easiest dub of my life. It's I'm not sure I want to read that out loud, Rexplore. Why does this guy think so much on obvious moves? I don't know. Beats me. Beats me. It's true though? No. No. That took a while. Okay, I'll rematch you once, then I'll move on to other people. I'm not used to regular chess. I've been playing Fisher Random. Well, that I know. I'm telling you, we're alive for the fall of Rome. Comparing Rome to the USA feels wrong? Why? I think I'm right. Rome actually did good for the world? Maybe I'm just an ignoramus, but I feel like the good Rome did for the world is pretty comparable to the good the US did for the world. In the sense that it wasn't that good. Because I'm not going to say the US is responsible for, because I think that's a bit of a stretch, but the US was the catalyst for a great deal of technological development. The entire law system for Europe? Yeah, but the law system only worked if you applied to a very small minority of citizens. I'm not saying their legal innovations were unimportant. I'm just saying. Continuation of Greek philosophy? Roman philosophy kind of mid. Roman philosophy. I mean, Greek philosophy is also kind of mid. That's sad. Basis for all European law? Well, yeah. More like geek philosophy, am I right? I never mind, all the philosophers, they got owned. It's too late for them. And I would argue that the US, again, maybe not responsible for, but for the catalyst for like bringing a lot of the world into the information age. US literally bombed the country 2 times for fun since Japan was already stepping down from the war. Were they? Maybe I'm misinformed, but I was under the impression that Japan wasn't stepping down from the war, and that was the whole point. Maybe I'm misinformed. Also, thank you, Stoimi and Leha 3200 with follows. I'm not going to claim to be a World War II historian. Japan wanted to surrender? Really? This is a very, very stupid point, but I'm only making it because I'm legitimately curious. Then how does something like Godzilla -1 exist, where the entire premise is that, I'm not going to say it was Japan's fault, but like about how destructive their culture at the time was, and their culture in response to the war. Yeah, but having a large faction that's against the war versus stopping the war are two different things. Godzilla -1 is not made in the USA. That's why I brought it up as a reason. It's because it's a Japanese movie. That just came out very recently. And so it's fresh in my mind because I just watched it. Again, obviously it was the US's fault. I'm not arguing that we should have bombed Hiroshima. I don't know the... Want to do regular chess? I'd prefer to fish random, but sure. I do not know nearly enough about anything, but it's it's hard because it's hard to justify deciding to kill that many people, whatever the reason, you know. I'm not sure there is a philosophical justification. I don't know. It's complicated. I try to avoid getting into like wartime philosophy, especially because I don't know if it's possible to come up with correct answers. Well, yeah, I know. And I'm not arguing there was good reason, but there's a difference between good reason and about to surrender. Those are two significantly different points. And I was trying to ask if about to surrender was true. That's the specifically the thing I was curious about. Obviously, it's a very complicated issue, and the US committed a great deal of atrocities. That wasn't my point. Can you please provide a source? Because I've legitimately never heard that. And if that's true, then I really want to know, because that's just another instance of the US erasing history that doesn't sound very good, which is something it has been known to do. Gotta Google? Go for it. It's pretty debated, so who knows? I definitely don't. That's why I am very clear that I don't have an opinion. I'd love to keep the bishop pair, but I just don't think there's a way of doing it in this position. Actually, can I take? And then bishop takes? No, because he has rook takes. And it's only almost trapped because he can go to c4, c5. It's close, but I don't think I can. Not thrilled with this move, but I need to get the knight out. And I'm not convinced in any of the slow ways of doing so. Again, it would not be unthinkable to me that the US decided that human rights are subjective. That's unfortunately a running trend. Again, the narrative that I've always been pushed is that the US really wanted Japan to surrender, but they just wouldn't. And so after much heated debate internally about what to do, it was decided that nuclear armaments would be used. Now, I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that's what I've been taught. Now, given that is a very pro-US narrative, which, to be fair, doesn't make it wrong, but oh, that's a clever move. Oh yeah, I'm sure there are. That's part of the problem. I was just discussing with some people I know recently how I'm struggling just personally, because recently I found it very difficult to find sources I feel like I can trust for a variety of issues, and it makes it immensely difficult for me to feel well informed about a lot of issues that I feel are very important. That's a weird time to dab. It's something. Dabbing 2024 is crazy. Hey, I didn't do it, chat did it, right? I am merely a vessel through which chat dabbed. That's it. It's that simple. I facilitate the dabbing of the people. I don't feel like I made it. Oh, am I? I don't think I am. Can't find a good article? Exactly my point. Not in the sense that you're wrong, but in the sense that I find it very difficult to find good sources for any issue. This is an issue agnostic point. Yeah, I mean, it could be true. I just have never heard that even claimed before in my life. And while I obviously would not consider myself an expert on World War II, it is a topic that I've researched because I find it interesting. And I've never heard that before. I've heard it before, but obviously each side is going to try to portray itself as more right than they were. Of course. That's the problem. And you have the added issue of history being written by the victors, as it were. And so, obviously, countries like the US are going to have a great deal of power over the narrative, regardless of how truthful they are. Yeah, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I have never heard that before. I goofed. Oh, he missed it. We're gaming. I see sacking the knight as an option, but that's really not something I want to do. I mean, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it, right? But I just would really rather avoid that. I saw what I needed more. More what? You had mate. Try to find that book again? Please do. And if you do, send me the title. Or whatever citations the book uses, if the book itself is a summary of other things. Because if that is a perspective, then I would love to hear it. It's like Chess Bros said, if you see a good mate, look for a better one. Did you see the one where USA faked vampire attacks in the Philippines? Nope, but that's in character. Again, that's what I mean. Again, when I was comparing the US to Rome, I was not calling the US good. I was calling Rome bad. I want to make my stance on that clear. It's a Wendigoon video, I believe. It sounds like a Wendigoon video. Wendigoon is a YouTuber who specializes in content revolving around how would you describe it? Like folk horror, basically. Folk horror. And he does a lot of looking into it. And it's really fascinating. And he kind of tells it as in a story sort of way. And so he has these very long videos going in depth about, I mean, a lot of it's folk horror, not all of it, but. And then he also does a lot of things that are related to it. Or at least open and try to destroy their opponents. Well, yeah, but my point is, I feel like history has likely erased a lot of Rome's opponents, and in so doing has made Rome look more just than they were. And I think that now this is where my takes get a less objective and more it came to me in a dream. I think that it's likely that as time goes on, the US will look less and less bad. I'm talking hundreds of years. The US will look less and less bad because their opponents will fade more than they did. And plus, I'm not sure that funding insurgencies and coups is any better than just murdering people. Obviously, they're both terrible, but to me, it's like, are you shooting someone with a gun or are you stabbing them with a knife? I don't really care. I don't think so either, but that's my point. Rome doesn't exist in its doesn't exist in the form it used to inhabit, and it hasn't for hundreds of years. So that's my point. I disagree. And the reason I disagree isn't because I don't think there's enough division. There's definitely enough division. The reason I disagree is because I don't think the majority of the population is willing to give up the amenities that they live with on a regular basis to go to war. And I think it'll be a long time, more than 50 years, before people are willing to give that stuff up. You're not going to have people go to war in a civil war while Starbucks still exists and is still profitable in its appeal to the majority. You know? Well, maybe not a majority, but I don't think there's enough people willing to give up the amenities. I think a lot of people are willing to talk about it, but I don't think enough people are actually willing to do it. You're right, majority is a bit of a stretch, but Jitsu the Real. Thanks so much for the follow. Okay. Chris, what is your chess.com name? If you don't mind me asking. Do I say my user? Yeah. Fringes that will want to do it? I don't think so. Plus, here's the thing. There needs to be enough people on the fringes who have the resources. Another thing that I think is slowing down the US's potential for civil war is the fact that the US government is so well funded militarily. Like, it's different rebelling against people who have better armor versus rebelling against people who have tanks. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it requires more. It's exclam join. Yeah, okay. I forgot I added misspellings of join into the command prompt. That way, people who misspelled join still get to play. I forgot I did that. Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think there are enough people because that's way harder in a modern country than it is in basically anywhere else. Are you playing a tournament? Not right now, but I will soon. Bold. I have a upcoming tournament that I'm playing in. Again, I agree with you that it's probably happening if nothing changes, but I still disagree on the timeline. I don't think 50 years is enough. Just because... When do you play viewers? I'm playing a viewer right now. This guy is a viewer. No, but you can be sustainable without causing civil war. You can survive a while being not sustainable. The US, I would argue, is already not sustainable. But there's just so much wealth left over. There's just so much excess. So much. That I don't see it going away that soon. No, I agree with you on that regard, but I just don't think it has long. Maybe. Let's hope I'm wrong. Of course. No, again, I agree with you in principle. I just disagree about the time frame. I think the US is way too economically and politically strong to go down in that quickly to a civil war. Not to go down in general, just that quickly. Now, continuing the Rome metaphor, I think it might only be 50 years until we have a Julius Caesar. But that wasn't a revolution, really. That's my point. There was no, like, the people didn't rise up. It definitely plunged Rome into a civil war, though. I mean, yes, but I feel like it should be, if it isn't, it should be categorized differently, because yeah, but then that's into technicalities. My point is that your random citizen did not take part in that. They kind of just sat back and cheered for Caesar, if that makes sense. Or Julius Caesar, I should specify, because Caesar is a general term. Hi man, so basically I have this weird problem. I beat 15 to 2300 elo rated bots, yet I still lose to people rated 700 or less sometimes. I'm also very good in over the board play with friends or family. I defeat almost all my opponents. What would you recommend me do? I'd love to improve. So I've always not been against training with bots, but been of the opinion that bots don't really represent how people play super well. Additionally, correct me if I'm wrong, but from your description, it sounds like the people you're playing against in your life aren't chess players. They're people who play chess. Like, they don't study chess. I mean, like you're saying friends or family. Do you have like friends who study chess and try and learn chess and improve? Problem with Caesar is that he got assassinated. Well, yeah, but still, even after the assassination. I'm not going to say it didn't change the overall picture, but it almost didn't change the overall picture. Not like... Has 3 category. What does that mean? When I say it doesn't change the picture, I mean something very specific, and I'm struggling to figure out how to express it. I mean, you still didn't have the average citizen taking part in it. They were still passive observers. You know, I'm contrasting it with like the French Revolution, where, you know, the people got in there. I understand that technically Caesar taking over and then his assassination technically could be classified as a revolution, but I don't think it really matches the spirit of a revolution. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it matches the spirit of the word revolution. Maybe I just have a misunderstanding of the word. A forcible overthrow of government or social order in favor of a new system. I suppose it technically is a revolution. So what'd you do if you're me? I'm really struggling. So I'm of the opinion that playing against bots is not very helpful for your chess growth. I've never understood it, and I don't know anyone who improves much playing bots. The only people I know who regularly play against bots don't really care about improving. Do you think Caesar is a good or a bad person? I have no idea, man. Doesn't sound like a very good person to me. And that was by definition a revolution? That's fair. I guess I'm wrong. Something about it feels off. I just mean, it was only a change at the top. You know, things moved around, but the people didn't get involved. And I could see that happening in the US in 50 years or less. So what I would recommend, well, I don't know how much you're interested in improving. Like, I don't know what your goal is. Like, do you want to sit down and read a book and improve at your chess? Or are you like, I don't care that much. I just kind of want to play and have some fun and maybe get a little bit better so I can beat my friends worse, right? It's different. It depends on what your personal goals are and what you find acceptable, right? Because, like, I could always advise just like picking up an endgame book or finding some endgame studying and improving at your endgames, because that'll always improve your chess. But a lot of people find that very dry and just don't want to, which is fair. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing those people. I'm just saying. That being said, some general tips I could give are watching good tournaments with good commentary is very helpful. That's how I got my start and started learning like the basics of positional chess, is I just watched good commentary and listened to these grandmasters explain these positions and what the thought process is of all these people playing, you know? So like Gotham Chess is fine, and he works in up until a point, but then afterwards, I'm not gonna say he falls off, but there gets a point where his stuff becomes a higher percentage of entertainment than there is education. And while there's nothing wrong with that from a content perspective, it isn't conducive to growth a ton. He's very childish. It's not childish. It's just he prioritizes humor and content over the educational value of his videos. Which, I mean, if you asked him, he would say he would. It's not like there's no deception about it. It's just that's what he's prioritized. And you can see a lot of his older videos didn't prioritize the entertainment part as much. They're less silly. They're have more legitimate advice, right? It's not a recent change, but a change that he made in order to appeal to a wider demographic. And I say this as an OG Gotham viewer. I have like 3 chess games I played against him. I made my Twitch account to be able to talk in Gotham Chess's chat, like back before he had 300 average viewers. I've also bought like 2 of his courses. Okay, so I'm a Gotham fan. Okay, I don't watch his videos very much anymore for that reason, but I'm a Gotham fan, so I'm not criticizing him. This is not criticism. It's just a decision he made in his career to go in a specific direction. It's not a wrong decision. It's just a decision. It takes all types, right? And honestly, I would rather him appeal to the younger demographic and the more, what's what I'm looking for? More casual demographic than most other people, because he does a really good job at it and he does it very ethically. And I really appreciate that. There's so often Gotham sarcasm is the way he speaks, people sometimes rubs in the wrong way. I can see that. It's very New York sarcasm. Very, very New York sarcasm. And I can see how that would be repulsive to some people. It doesn't bother me. I think it's funny, but like, I can see it. That makes sense. It's very brash. But yeah, you see in so many other fields and in so many other like YouTube spheres, there's so many like people who end up taking advantage of their position and just doing horrible things. And so I'm thankful for Gotham in the sense that he does appeal to the casual crowd, but he does it in a, I think, a mutually beneficial way for everyone involved. But he definitely has gone that direction, which, I mean, he's not the only chess content creator, right? There are others, right? Danya Naroditsky does a lot of very high level stuff. His stuff's almost too high level. Whew. Sometimes it goes over my head. His endgame series is fantastic. I've watched like 2.5 of the videos. Really quite good, but man. You could tell the guy's a super GM, you know? The voice transcription is crazy. It does okay. It's impressive to me simply because I have it running locally on my machine. This is not being thrown and filtered through Google and sent back. This is running on my hardware, and it makes me quite happy. Danya's only like 2650. Ah, he's only 2650. My bad. My bad, guys. He's pathetically terrible. You running Whisper locally? No, it's called Live Captions. It's an open source software. I'll link you the GitHub. I don't think it's called Whisper. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one. What do you need in order to become a GM? Well, you're not actually Super GM. Okay, well, he's very, very close to Super GM. You're correct. He's not literally a Super GM. What hardware are you running? Well, I actually have 3 different pieces of hardware happening right now. I've got an old laptop that I'm running as a restream server. So I stream to that old laptop and it splits it to YouTube and Twitch. So I don't have to pay for one of those. Oh, piece of junk. So I don't have to pay for one of those monthly subscriptions that splits your streams for you because I can do it locally. And then I have a PC here that's running a i3 10105F and a Intel Arc A380 for the encoding. And so it has my microphone, webcam, mini stream deck, and whatever other peripherals I have for stream plugged into it. And then it does the encoding and outputs the stream. And then I have my main gaming PC that I'm actually playing chess on, that via an extension for OBS beams the desktop capture to the encoding PC. And my main rig I just built last year. I'm very happy about it. It's brand new. It's a 7600 and a 6700 XT. I might be an economics student, but I'm like also like 65% IT student. Remember me when you'll be famous? I'll try. I don't think it's gonna happen though. Where are you buying your parts from? So it depends on the parts. So I have kind of pieces from everywhere. I have a few parts from Greece. I have a few parts from here in Macedonia. I have a few parts from the US, because I also visited the US last year, and so I brought back some computer parts with me. Because there's some stuff that's way cheaper in the US. So I have like 3 different countries of parts. And I guess technically my GPU is shipped from China to the US, because I got the A380 before its big Western release. So I got like as soon as it launched on Newegg. I had to compile my own Linux kernel and Linux drivers just to actually get the thing to output. It was miserable. Learned a lot from it though. Buy from India, it's 10 times cheaper. I'm pretty far from India. And plus, I'm a little afraid of bootleg parts with online stores specifically. I don't do a ton of ordering from online retailers in this part of the world because I don't trust Eastern European online retailers a lot. So I have some stores in Greece that I like. I have some stores here in Macedonia that I like. And when I went to the US, I visited a friend of mine who lived like right next to a micro center, and so I was able to get a bunch of parts from a micro center. Hello, pigeons. My GPU is actually from the micro center, my 6700 XT. But so if I remember correctly, it's GPU, CPU, RAM, and SSD are from the US. Case, fan, case, cooler, other CPU, other motherboard, other case are from Macedonia, and then motherboard, CPU, and then motherboard, CPU are from Greece, if I remember correctly. So the most important things from the US? Yeah, because I was very lucky with the timing. And it was just because the pricing was better. I could get the same stuff here, but it was like 30% more expensive. So it was hard to justify since I had the opportunity. And I wasn't just visiting, I also had some other people visiting, so they brought some stuff for me too because they didn't care. It was super sick. I got very lucky with it. And I also live quite near to the Greek border, so I can go there pretty easily. Also my monitor, and then for my monitors, one of them's from Greece and the others are from Macedonia. And then like everything else in my setup is from Macedonia. Actually, it's not true. My DAC is from Romania because I have a friend in Romania who sold it to me secondhand because he got a better one. I got stuff from all over the place. I've been assembling this setup for like 4 years. Just over time, I had like one thing at a time. Because I find a good opportunity. So now it's pretty darn sick, but it's taken a while to get here. So what games do you play? So actually just today I finished the first run of the Dead Space remake that came out last year. And overall, I play some like multiplayer games. I play some like Deep Rock Galactic, also Rivals 2. I like platform fighters. And then I play a lot of just single player games, especially ones that are pretty story heavy. Do you play any instrument? I used to play the piano, but that was like when I was really young. I don't really anymore, so I'd say no. Sometimes I want to pick one up and start learn a new instrument, but then I just always want to spend that time on something else. You know, it's like I could try to learn an instrument. I do look like a guitarist, that's true. Anyway, I want to learn an instrument like guitar or accordion or something, but then I'm like, or I could spend that time learning Greek, you know? And I would just rather know Greek. And so I've been doing Greek lessons. It's a very difficult language. It's very interesting though, I'm enjoying it. I know like 15 words of Greek. Why would you need Greek? I don't need Greek, but it would be helpful. Because like I said, I live relatively close to the Greek border, and I find that very few Macedonians know Greek because of the cultural divide and because of the tension that exists there. And so there's a lot of utility in being a Macedonian who knows Greek, because so many people go to Greece, and I go to Greece fairly often as well, probably once, twice a month, and no one here knows it. Now, a lot of Greeks close to the border know Macedonian, but you could just do a normal 10-0 if you'd like. Why's my command not working? 0 people in line. Oh, that's because I've clicked next a billion times, haven't I? Yeah, Octopus isn't here, so that means it's Landon's turn. Yeah, no, I can, you can send me a normal 10-0 if you prefer. So I don't need Greek, and I've gotten along fine without Greek, because between Macedonian and English, usually I can come to an understanding, but it would be helpful. Is an octopus like 2400? I have no idea. It would be very helpful. Plus, additionally, as a Christian, knowing Greek would be nice because modern Greek is actually fairly similar to ancient Greek, and so it would be helpful for understanding like the Bible. And it's an interesting language historically, and I just enjoy learning languages. And so it was kind of less so, oh, I need to learn Greek, and more so, I want to learn a language. Which language would I use the most? And Greek was the answer. It was between that and Albanian. I was also considering learning Albanian for the same reason. Or for similar reasons. I ended up deciding on Greek just because I feel like I would use it more, but it was close. Duolingo? No. For Greek, I actually found this super cool app. It doesn't have many languages. It only has, what does it have? It has, give me 1 second. Spanish, Arabic, Turkish, German, Greek, Italian, Swahili, and French. It also has English for Spanish speakers. Play your favorite game in it? That's a good idea. It also has English for Spanish speakers. But it's this open source project called Language Transfer, and I love the methodology. I really strongly agree with their methodology and how they teach language, and it really speaks to me. And it's interesting, the project was started by a Greek guy who wanted to encourage Greeks in Cyprus, specifically Greeks in Cyprus, to learn Turkish, and Turks in Cyprus to learn Greek, which, wow. And so he developed and helped develop, and like, I don't know if he developed the methodology or if he found the methodology and tries to popularize it. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've read the about page on the website. But either way, he ended up working with this methodology, and so he's trying to help you get to be able to speak and work with the language as quickly as possible, and also while understanding the way that language works. I love it. It's fantastic. And it's done as audio lessons. Like, they're between 5 and 10 minutes, all of them. And depending on the language, they have a certain number. So like Greek, it has 120 audio lessons. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's really been excellent. I'm very fortunate to have found it. And so I'm like 20 lessons into Greek. I got a little farther. I got to like 26 or something, but then I stopped because I had Russian as a required class in college, and I couldn't do trying to continue learning Macedonian, trying to learn Greek, and also learning Russian for college all at the same time. My brain couldn't handle it. And so I took a break from learning Greek for a few months while I finished my Russian classes. But now that I'm done with those, I'm going to start restarting it. But in restarting it, I had forgotten a lot of it, so I had to not restart the entire course, but go back a significant amount. So you're just become a polyglot now? I have no idea. Right now, the plan is just to learn Greek. And trilingual isn't that uncommon. I think polyglot is usually considered 4 languages or more. It goes mono, bilingual, trilingual, and then polyglot I think is 4 or more. So I would love to know more languages, but I don't know. It's just very difficult and time consuming, and I don't know if I could get a ton of utility from it. If I could also have Albanian, that'd be sick. That'd be the most powerful Macedonian ever, because I would be able to understand like anyone in the country. Because you would have all the Greeks visiting, I'd be able to understand them. I could understand English, which would catch a bunch of Westerners. I would understand our large Albanian minority of like 20%, and then obviously Macedonian. And Macedonian actually is quite nice because, as you know, Bulgarian is very similar, so I can basically understand Bulgarian from my Macedonian. I would love to be a polyglot, though. Ty говоришь по-русски? Да. Only a little bit. It was 2 semesters of college Russian. It's not exactly a complete course. Fascinating language, though. fascinating language. But I just am not super, like, pumped to learn Russian because I don't get a ton of utility from it. Ты говоришь ли русский? Yeah, that's Это так красно. Because it's not a language I'm going to use very much, Russian. Just because I don't know. I don't interact with too many Russians. I don't read too much Russian literature in Russian. It's just not a language I would use. Greek, I'm going to have a great many opportunities to use. Albanian, I would have a great many opportunities to use, but Russian, not so much. I have like three friends in school that are from Russia. Well, that's a good enough reason to me. I have a few friends in school who are Albanian, which is why Albanian was on one of my higher languages. If we have to fight World War III, Russian might be useful. This is true. But, you know, I'm going to live my life on the assumption that we will not have to fight in World War III because I really, really don't want to. And so I'm just going to live in a fantasy, if you don't mind. That makes sense. Serbian's another language that'll be useful because it differs enough from Macedonian that there was utility in learning it, but I just really don't want to. It's that simple. They're very similar? Yeah, I know, but there's like grammatical differences to my knowledge. I mean, in general, as I'm sure you're aware, I can... someone who understands Macedonian, someone who understands Serbian can have a rudimentary conversation. But you know, GG's. Okay, let's look through that. Let's see what happened. But that's also why I wanted to learn either Greek or Albanian, is I wanted to learn a very different language, right? Because both Albanian and Greek are very different than both English and Macedonian. And so I'll be getting three very diverse languages, which would be not only very interesting, but also, I think, just, you know, beneficial. Because that way I have like as much overlap as possible. Now, in that sense, doing a language like Chinese would probably be very good as well because of how many people speak it. But again, it's not a language I would use very much. If I ever decide to move to China, then I'll consider learning Chinese. Or, you know, move to a country that's closer to China. I didn't know Macedonian has letter J in its alphabet. We do. We do. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I struggle with typing because I don't do much typing in Macedonian. I found it. There it is. Yep. We have the letter J. Again, you have some letters we don't as well. Like some variants of sh that we don't have. There's a few others. I don't remember exactly because I don't know the Bulgarian alphabet by heart. But I remember when I visited Sofia for a few days, I saw a lot. Yeah. No, we have Nyanla. Yeah. We have like a ton of those letters. Probably. Okay, we have the first two, but we just don't have the third. We have the third one. We have zh, but we don't have the sh and the whatever the softness modifier in Russian. I don't know what it is in Bulgarian, but we have the third one, just not the first two. I need to spend some more time learning the Greek alphabet. It's a weakness of mine. Because the course I'm doing doesn't focus on it too much. Do you have U? I don't think we have U. That's U, right? Or is it Yo? I don't remember. It's Russian has it, but we don't. No, I'm not talking about you, Pigeons. I was talking to Psychic. We don't have whatever that first letter is. The upside down ch, it looks like. Or kind of like an H with a hat. I have no idea what it is, but we don't have that, whatever it is. We have zh. We have the frog. Or butterfly, or whatever metaphor you want to use for it. That's what, let me copy paste. Of the letters you posted, Mr. Pigeons, we have all of them, but these two. These two we do not have. I have no idea what those are. All the other ones we have. That's je, ch, sh, ny, and ye. Yeah. But the other ones I don't know. Those two. Goofy looking guys. Looks like shit. And ts combined. So it's ts. Ts and shit. Ts. That's weird. Again, that's what's interesting about it. A lot of times, if we're missing a letter from one of our languages, we end up substituting it with a combination of letters, like Bulgarian does with d and zh to replace j, and how we do with a few other things, or y and u to replace u, and y and o to replace yo. Right? Oh yeah, no, yeah, we don't have that one. We do not have that. Like shtu. Yeah, shtu. Yeah, we don't have that one. I know it vaguely because Russian has it, but we do not have shtu. So the mistake here, all this was fine up until just giving me the exchange. There was really not very good reason for this. Now we just play chess, and I try to take advantage of this weakness, and you try to take advantage of this weakness, and let the best chess player win, right? But knight takes knight e4 allows me to take the rook, and now I'm just up in exchange. Which is quite a sizable advantage. And now I have another pawn on top of it. Have you had 100% accuracy games? A few, yeah. I mean, if you play if you beat the opponent via a trap in the opening, you can pretty reliably get 100%. And so it's not impossible to. It's not even that uncommon, right? You just have to trick someone with a trap in the opening, they blunder their queen, and then they resign. Yeah, I've had many games like that. Yeah. I mean, this game even with my relatively unfocused play, I still had an accuracy in this game of 94.7. Right? Because my opponent just kind of gave me an exchange, and then I played chess. And plus, I'm very comfortable in these positions, and I don't think my opponent is. He played very well in the opening, but he didn't seem very comfortable. I just like it when the engine marks my move as a mistake when the eval goes from +10 to +7. That's what I mean. That's another reason I'm not going to say dislike engine analysis. I distrust engine analysis. Man, I didn't put any honey or sugar or anything else in my tea because I'm trying to start drinking actual just like tea. Because I drink my coffee black, so I was like, how hard can it be? Night pigeons, always a pleasure. Don't tell me try not to blunder a lot. I can't help it. It's who I am. Sleep well. Yeah, I think I'm going to play a little bit more, just a little bit more Fisher Random, and then we're going to call it. Because I's tired. I like this as an option. Just blunt his bishops and gain a bunch of central control. Seems fairly simple. And I'll do it this way so I can take with the rook, because I think this queen exchange benefits me. And see, now his bishops are blunted, and his pieces lack natural squares to be able to develop. Ooh, do I take with bishop or with knight? That's actually hard. Bishop comes with tempo, but knight comes with tempo as well. I'm going to take with knight, because knights need to be in the center more than bishops do. That looks like a free pawn. I ain't scared. Hit with your best shot, buddy. Give me another pawn. Another pawn. Give me the rook. Well, this is going rather well. Lop. 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 Shah. Oh, we're chilling. Lop. Look at all this material. Oops. Did you know chess is an Indian game and the bishops used to be elephants or something? Was it not the rooks that used to be elephants? Yeah, chaturanga, right? That's the Indian name. And rooks used to be rooks. It was... maybe knights were elephants. Something was an elephant. I don't remember what was an elephant. Something was an elephant. But, in any case, yeah, it's super interesting. Chess has a very storied history. And, What was I gonna say? And the queen was fairly weak in this ancient variant of chess. Which is interesting. So I'm going to include this check first. The queen, if I remember correctly, it moved... It didn't move like a king. It moved like a king, but only did diagonal moves, I think. It was something like that. It had some very extreme restriction. It's not stalemate because he's got a pawn. Whoop. Okay, now, time to flex my huge Chess 960 opening database. Where did I put it? Okay, what's the starting position? It is... Yeah. It is bishop, bishop, rook, king, queen, knight, rook, knight. Okay. So this 960 position has a 49.83 win rate for the white pieces, a 3.97% draw rate, and a 46.19% loss rate for the white pieces from just over 20,000 games played on Lichess. The most common move for white, played 26.81% of the time, is b3, followed by e2, e4, followed by c2, c4. And for black, the moves are very similar. b6, b6 is the most common move, but the second most common move is actually knight h to g6, most likely to respond to c4 and the pressure that puts on h7. So knight h to g6 is the second most common move, and the third most common is e7, e5. I also have 651 computer games played in this position, and from this position, white wins 53.4% of the time, it is a draw 23.5% of the time, and black wins 23.1% of the time. The evaluation is at a depth of 42, with a 7-piece table base run on one thread of Stockfish 16, I believe, is plus 0.21. And the most common and the recommended moves according to the engine are c4, c5. Judging from my statistics, this seems to be a position that is relatively more balanced compared to other 960 positions and compared to the default chess starting position. And additionally, it seems to be a position where black can a position with a relatively low expected draw rate, so a relatively sharp position. So it's a very equal but also very sharp starting position. Slightly fewer draws than the average. What's the least balanced one? Let's see if I can remember that. Okay, so least balanced according to what? The computer says it's the worst, the computer results say it's the worst, or humans have the worst results in it, right? Because those are all different. Those are 3 different positions. Percent wins for humans. Okay, let me find it in my data set. the worst position for black by win rate is, let me set it up. By human win rate, the worst position is bishop, bishop, queen, rook, knight, king, rook, knight. That. So same on both sides, right? By human win rate, this is evidently the worst position for black. White wins this position on Lee chess 50.58% of the time. It's a draw 3.93% of the time, and black wins a measly 45.47% of the time. Ouch. Why would that be though? The engine says black is better. Well, this is a relatively low depth engine. If I go to my engine results for this, and the engine puts this as a fairly even position. The engine calls this actually one of the most even positions in Fisher Random. However, the engine as the black pieces performs terribly here. Black almost never wins from the engine games. Like, shockingly low. Like, one of, if not the lowest engine win rates in all of Chess 960. Second lowest, I think. Third lowest. It's very bad. So the engine actually gives it a decent evaluation. However, the engine practically never wins this as black. And as white, humans do incredibly well. So even the engine is wrong? Yeah, because here's the thing. Hello, Patel. Something you will notice as a trend in Chess 960 positions is the positions where white performs the best are the positions where both bishops are on one side of the board, usually the queen side, and can be opened up relatively quickly onto weak squares. Because that means white in this position can play c1, c4 with tempo. And being able to play a developing move and a space-grabbing move with tempo is real big. Because now black has to respond. Because I'm immediately threatening to take your pawn and win your rook. Not excellent. Going to watch the VOD, I missed so much. Well, no worries, Patel. Just what are you worried about missing? What's your concern? I can explain things. One of the things you have to be used to as a Twitch streamer is people coming in and having no idea what's going on. Also, thank you for the follow. And just telling them what's happening. Opening theory. This isn't opening theory. This is Chess 960 starting position theory. Not to flex, actually that's a lie, this is to flex. I have what might be the most complete database of Chess 960 starting positions in the world. In the world. It is a database that contains over 20 million human games, over 600,000 computer games, and has every starting position evaluated with a seven-piece table base and Stockfish 16 running on a single core on to a depth of 42. And for all the human games, it has win-loss draw data, and additionally the three most popular moves from white and from black. Is that from ChessBase? No, it ain't from ChessBase. It's from me. I spent like 3 months working on this. This is from me. Source me. I downloaded all the dang Lee Chess games from their website. I want that in a hard drive. It doesn't take that much space because it's just a CSV file. I have the actual games as well compiled together, but those are pretty useless when you have the actual just data here. Yeah, take my credit card. We can make an arrangement. Here, I'll flash the data. So you know I'm not lying. I'll show. Look upon it. It's glorious. I'm not lying. This is completely cap-free. This is a cap-free zone. You worked 3 months on that? A little longer. And it wasn't 3 months straight, because I only worked on it in my free time here and there. And I took a break in the middle because I got frustrated. But, I did spend quite a while on it. Thank you. I appreciate it. At some point, I was going to make a YouTube video going over all this stuff and like looking at what the worst positions are, what the best positions are, any trends I could find. I just, not gonna lie to you, I didn't because I got busy with the finals and then I forgot. What you would think after working on this for like 3 months, I wouldn't forget, but you would be wrong because I have ADHD. So I should still probably actually make the YouTube video. This is some good stuff. I have the CSV files for everything. So how useful is it? What do you mean how useful is it? You do a smart bank. No worries, man. Yeah, Twitch is weird. My bank always hates me when I try to do anything on Twitch. Anyway, how useful is it? Well, what do you mean how useful is it? It's data. It's concrete, real world, and also theoretical data on every starting position in Chess 960. It's useful in the sense that it will tell you what positions are good and what positions are bad. And now, as raw data, it's raw data. It's as useful or useless as any raw data. It needs to be processed. It needs to be looked at. So like, for example, one thing I told you is that in general, positions tend to be bad for black when they have bishops connected together on one side of the board like this. Right? And so if you look, the reason I said that is because now let's go down the list and see all the ones. This is again sorted by white's win rate. Look at all the ones that have bishops next to each other. This one, 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 this one. Oh no, this one has 2 bishops in the middle of the board. So the top 8 most winning starting positions for white all have bishops connect next to each other on the side of the board. The top 8. And that's human results. That's hugely relevant data. And of the top 20, let's see. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 of the top 20. 15 of the top 20 worst positions for black have bishops connected on the side of the board. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does. Right? So, in general, we can say that for humans, having these bishops together connected on the side of the board is bad for black. Now, that's not concrete. I haven't looked into the data deep enough to tell you whether that's 100% true or not. That's just from skimming it. But, so in general, we can say with a relatively decent amount of confidence, just from this first analysis, that this is generally bad for black. Now, that's for humans. The computer doesn't care. The computer, from an evaluation perspective, here we go. 13, 11, 20. This is centipons. These numbers here are centipon advantage for white. So 13 is plus 0.13. Plus 11 is plus 0.11. So if we keep going down the list, most of these are totally fine for black. I do not speak that language. I'm very sorry. Flavio. And so it's interesting because the computer doesn't mind these positions. The computer thinks it's fine. But humans, it looks more like Spanish to me. Anyway. So the computer doesn't care. The computer thinks these positions are fine. It's specifically humans. It's specifically humans who are really, really bad at dealing with these two bishops situation. Another thing that I didn't show is I have this graph. Oh. Where did I put it? I have this graph. This is one of the first things I made, just because it's very easy. This graph measures human win rate and computer win rate by engine evaluation. And you see that's computer spread, that's human spread. I don't have as many computer games. It's only 600,000, which is like 600, 700 per position. So there's a lot wider of a spread for engine games than there is for human games. So for humans, as the evaluation gets better, we slowly climb. It's slowly, but it goes from like 47%, 48 to like at the end it's 49.5 or 49.8. So evaluation statistically has a super minor, like a consistent but incredibly minor impact on human win rate. But for computers, which is the blue line, it's less consistent because I don't have as many games, but there's a much stronger trend. Much stronger trend. So this tells us something that we kind of already knew. Computers care about opening advantage way more than humans. Humans, it almost doesn't matter. The difference between the best and worst position is white having a 47% win rate and white having a 49% win rate. That is statistically significant, but it's minuscule. In a human, I am playing the position sense, which is a good argument in favor of chess 960 being fairly well balanced. The fact that there's not really a very bad position for black, and even the worst positions have slightly over. There's not a position where white wins 51% of games. There's not one. It does not exist. According to 20 million games from Lichess, these games are collected from April of 2015 to April of 2025. No, 2024, this year. 2014 to 2024, that's what it was. So it was exactly 10 years of Lichess data. So what's the best win rate? Computer at best advantage? The best advantage for computer is statistically this position. And in this position, the computer has a win rate for white of 62%. Isn't 50, it's like 40 to 10% draws still unbalanced? Yes. However, it's not 50, 40, 10% draws. Remember, it is 50.5, 3.93, and 45.47. Yes, it's bad, and it's quite bad. However, 45%, that's not that bad. It's statistically significant. Like I said, very statistically significant. But one thing I haven't completely gotten the math done yet on is evaluation, because a modern day computer evaluation is done by expected win rate. And so I can actually, I haven't figured out the math of this yet. I haven't gotten this working, but I can actually take this win rate and calculate it backwards into advantage, monetary advantage. What was in your hand? A little stick that converts USB to micro SD and mini SD, or just SD and micro SD, sorry. I have it on my desk and I just fiddle with it sometimes. I use it for homebrewing my Nintendo Switch and my 3DS. Because I like dumping my own games to emulate. Anyway. I'm really a tinkerer. I tinker with everything. It's kind of a problem. Again, so this is fascinating stuff, but this really goes to show how balanced chess 960 is. And I can even measure the position by how universal white's first move is. So like there's this position where white plays e4 like every single time. White plays e4 45.51% of the time. That's huge. So this is the position with the most popular move. So like the move that everyone agrees on. Then I can also do the inverse. This is the position that's most controversial. In this position, nobody can decide what to play. The top 3 most popular moves combined only make up like 45% of the total games played. And that's top 3. Is this document publicly available? No. So here's my plan. Like I said, I was going to make a YouTube video. And then in the description, I was going to offer a link to my Ko-fi page. And on the Ko-fi page, it was going to have publicly available and free how I got the data and how you can get the data and compile it yourself. Or for like $3, you could buy the data. That was my idea. That's fair. That was my plan. That was my Galaxy Brain Giga plan. I would buy that data right now. Where's my Ko-fi page? You know, it's just something cheap, you know, and not unreasonable, because I do want this data to be accessible. But I also, you know, would like a monetary return. I'm a business student. As much as I look like a comp sci major, I am not. I am a business major. So it interests me. I always wonder this about 960. Well, I have the data. Piece of junk. Okay, give me a second. Stupid. One moment, please. Up. Okay. Do I have my Ko-fi page linked in my about? I think I do. I don't have 6 notifications. That's just pulls. You have. I'm on it. I knew I did. Because I just set this up like a month ago, the Ko-fi page. Okay. Let me... A second. How do you... Just got here. Can I ask what's going on? I was flexing my Chess 960 data that I compiled, and people were asking how they could get their hands on it, and my original plan was to sell it for like $3-4 on Ko-fi. Digital item right there. Do I get the data for 3 USD? I'm setting it up as something I'm selling on Ko-fi right now. Give me 1 second. Just a second. It's 960. Is it here? Where did I... Let me check my email. Let me make sure again, like I said, as I did this, I really, really want to make the individual data pieces public because a lot of it was given to me by people in good faith. And so I would think it'd be somewhat immoral of me to sell it without... Oh, sorry, it's depth of 46, not 42. Depth of 42 is what I did myself. Depth of 46 is what the guy provided. Pardon me. Okay, wait, let me switch to my... I'll post this as soon as I'm done with it. Just give me 1 second. I refuse to offer this data for sale before I post how I got it. I think that would be wrong. So, just give me 1 second to get this sorted. Because again, the engine analysis was provided by Sese or Steinar. And he gave it to me for free when I emailed him about it. And so I don't want to just resell that because that's scummy, you know? So I'm going to be making my... I've heard of them. Yep, they do a computer analysis. They're super cool. Let me just add a blog post. Yeah, makes sense. Where's the actual sesame? I can just do that right now. Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Where's coffee? Yeah, it makes sense. Opening a database.
Let's do this.
This is going to be a very quick and dirty solution, but I think that's okay. Nope. What do you mean? What chess 960 blog? I do not know about any blog. I emailed him directly and asked him about some information about a article he wrote for chess.com back in 2018. And in his response, he gave me access. He just sent me the link to most recent data he has. Yeah, no, it's more recent than that. He did a fairly recent analysis on Stockfish 13. No, sorry. Yeah, he a few months back did an analysis at depth of 46 with a more with at the time the most recent variant of Stockfish he had available, and he gave that to me just because I asked nicely, which is super cool. And he also linked me to the computer chess games database, which is how I found that. Which is again why I want to make this data public, because he made it public to me. It's a lot of data. It took me hours of number crunching. This took me a lot of time to go through, and so I think it's worth a few dollars to save you the pain. That's the idea. Okay. So, first things first, here is the link to the blog post I just made about how I created the data, where it came from. It also provides links to all the individual data sources, which is all public data. It's all easily accessible. You can go and make it yourself if you want. What you're buying from me is it all put together nicely, which is going to be a lot easier for you to work through. Whether or not that's worth it for you, that's for you to decide. Feel free to just make it yourself. Now, With that out of the way, where did I put the file itself? Where did I put the actual final thing? I have it here, just... Is it this? Sure. Nope, that's just the computer games. One moment, I can't remember where I put it. Okay, I know what to do. Just give me a second. Oh no, I know where I put this. I remember where I put it. I put it in a very, very particular spot for safekeeping because I did not want to lose it. Here it is. Let me just check to make sure this is what I think it is. It's trash. LibreOffice Calc works fine. Okay, yeah. This is the file. Found it. I have no idea how to do this, so I'm just going to do it easy. We want you. Yeah. Now I just have to sign a minimum price. Thinking $4. It seems fair. Ugh. What preview image do you want me to use for this? It's a CSV file.
I gotta tell you my dream from last night before I forget it. So this is the basic.
Preview
It was
image.
very long and intense, but
I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. I have an idea.
you were performing
I will
at
just...
a nightclub in London,
Oh,
and
it's...
I guess like an hour before your set, no one knew where you were.
forgot. I'll just take screenshots of this specific part of my screen.
So you were undercover as one of the bartenders, but every employee was wearing a hoodie so you couldn't see their face.
Let me Google something real quick. Okay.
You were undercover as one of the bartenders. And then you were serving these awesome drinks on bubble wrap coasters, dude.
Man, I can't find the sinking screenshot button on my computer. That's really embarrassing. Okay.
Massive tower, and then you revealed your face, and it was like, oh, and then you walked on stage and you killed it. So that was my dream. I just wanted to share with you, and I hope you have a great day. Peace out, dog.
One moment. Okay, now I've got a preview image. Happy now? No. Okay, give me a second. Oh, sick. Now, there's the link to the item. Did you get it? Yes, sir. Here, I'll send it to you. I also have it on the storefront there. But there you go. Now, if you have any questions or if I mess something up, just holler. Either here on my Discord, on the Ko-fi page, I'll read it all. And I'll get back to you quickly. But that should be it. Yep, did I do payment on the wrong place? Nope, you did it perfect. It took me a really long time to set up the little mini storefront that I got for the thing, but now it's available as a just an item you can buy for $4 or more on my shop. But what you did is totally acceptable. Okay, there we go. You did 4 and done only 3. I don't care. I told you 3. I said 3. You gave me 3. Deal's a deal. I changed it to 4 for the public page. You get the early bird special because you were here when I made the store page. Also, thank you, Cap of Liberty and Favio for the follows. Really appreciate it. Okay. And there we go. So now, in case anyone else asks, I'll probably link this in my Discord as well. Oh, it's been a while since someone is asked for wisdom. So yeah, there you go. I linked it here. I'll link it in the Discord. So where do I get the file? I believe I sent it to you on Ko-fi, but I can also just send it to you on Twitch. I believe I whispered it to you on Ko-fi, but it doesn't matter. I'll whisper it to you wherever. Does Twitch let me upload things? No. That's fine. I'll upload it somewhere else and send you a link. If you like. Oh yeah, I found it in a poem. Excellent. Again, check it. Tell me if it's fine. I checked this file and I believe it's the correct one. But, you know, human error. I am far from immune to it. And of course, H in that stands for human. So, the H, so it says H total, H win, H draw, H loss. That's human, win percent, draw percent, of course. It's not too terribly beautified, but it's the data. Yeah, it's correct file. Excellent. Well, there you go. So yeah, I told you. I was not capping. This is a cap-free zone. There we go. Yeah, and I received the money. Because I set up my Ko-fi and I linked it to like my PayPal and everything else a month or two ago. Just when I went and did some house cleaning on all my internet accounts. Okay. What time is it? It's like midnight, isn't it? Yeah, it's 11:30. In that case, I'm going to raid someone and go to bed. Or raid someone then post this on my Discord and then go to bed. No problem whatsoever. Thank you. I appreciate the $3. What was I doing? Oh yes, I was raiding somebody. It's so late, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Shame on me. Is anyone I know live? That's one person. Ooh, Thinker Teacher. Did he just start? Oh, Thinker Teacher just started streaming. Ooh, perfect. I love raiding Thinker Teacher. It's gonna be a pretty big raid. It's gonna be a pretty big raid. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like him a lot. He's so intense. He is. But that's because he believes in what he's saying. He's passionate. Watch his VODs. He's chill. Like him a lot. Anywho, I will be back on... What day of the week is it? Monday. Most likely. And on Monday, we'll be playing regular chess. Because I only do Fisher Random once a week. Because, you know, I recognize that for now, its appeal is more limited. Anywho, appreciate y'all stopping by. Have a great night.